Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and sometimes there are those games that sneak right by me in their first campaign, and this one did it. So Ice and Idols is a 30 to 60 minute game for 2 to 4 players with a constantly shifting map. Players are going to try to navigate this ice maze and gather these idols to either give themselves special powers along the way, slowly growing in strength and versatility, or placing them into the temple for bonuses and for possible endgame victory points. So let's take a look at this game. I've got it set up here because it's a real stunner when it comes to the visual appeal of this. There's some real fun here. So this is the main player area where players are going to be moving their figure around on these really cool, like clear see-through paths, because underneath the ice is where all the information is that you need to pick up idols and to deliver idols, because that's the game. Players have a player board here, and this is just a close-up of one particular player board because you've got places to place all 5 of the idols to give you a bonus ability that you can unlock in the game. You've got a player character card, and then you also have your space for your 5 basic actions, but you might actually unlock that one that gives you 6, which is great. So that's why you want to gather them. They're sitting over here on the side. This is the temple. The temple is blocked off at the bottom by 1 player color because I am simulating a 3-player game here. So these are going to be covered up for a 3-player, and then these spaces will be covered up in a 2-player, but in a 4, you're going to have all the spaces available. And once you actually have cubes in all of these spaces, it can be the same player color, this is going to lock, and everybody who is in that particular column will receive this many points for the amount of cubes they have here. So in this case, it's 5. So yellow player gets 10, light green gets 5, dark green isn't in the game. Ha! So then that's going to be the case. So that's going to be what you do in the temple, but your configuration is based on this card. So players are going to be dealt 2 cards they pick one of, and this configuration, whether rotated in any direction, will be reflected in the temple with their player cube colors. So getting 3 in the same one is pretty hard because there are 2 that are max 3. This has 4 and this one has 5, and they have to be in a row. So I'm going to pick this one. You keep it face down. Don't let any other players see it. But there are a handful of these goals with the variety of victory points that you gain. Every player is going to do that at the start of the game, and then we're going to play. I get to be the keysmith, and my keysmith gives me 1 special ability down here that costs 3 action points. Remember, you get 5 per turn, and it's going to give me a chance to do something really cool and unique that my other players don't get to do from the start. So everyone's going to start with something special. This just reminds you that you get 5 action points and you get 10 cubes that are going to be placed over here near the temple. So with my board, this is blocked because I don't have the ability of this brown one right here, and then I don't have the ability of the blue one, so there's an X right there that reminds me I can't do those actions. Now here's one of my favorite features. I actually used this, nobody else when I played with used this action, but I did, and I thought it was pretty cool. This token says, this turn you get 1 more. You get 1 more action point, but when you use it, you have to flip it over, and the very next turn you lose 2. So you're down by whatever you have your max capacity as, and then it flips back over, and you will only activate it when you choose to. So it's a get 1, pay 2 later, and it could really, really come in handy because this board will not stay the same. That's the whole joy of this game, is that players are going to slowly be shifting and rotating these tiles. They're going to essentially be lifting up the entire board at times and moving the entire thing 90 degrees and then placing it back down again. And oh my gosh, nothing is where it was before. So that is going to be part of the joy of this game. So I'm going to put this guy back right there. It's all set up and ready to go. These cards right here are going to do the shifting, the rotating, and the collapsing, in addition to players. So what you get to do is you've got 5. Every time you move along a path that is connected, it's 1 action point. You can pick up an idol for 1 action point. You can drop off an idol for 1 action point. And then there are variable abilities that will cost, here you'll see 2, 1, 2, and then your player card is going to have either a 3 or a 4 if I'm not mistaken. There's the Curator for 4, the Architect for 3, and the Sculptor for 3, and they all have a different ability that you get to start with for the 4 players. So let's say I'm going to go, I'm the yellow player, Keysmith. I take my figure and I walk 1 space right here because that's a connected path. Now what's underneath it is this brown token right here. The shapes fit the spaces, and they also have the outline of a space for where it's headed. So if I want to drop this idol off, I'm going to find the location where this is, and it's going to be right over here. You can see it just a little bit better if I lift up that piece. You're going to see it fits right in right there. So I'm going to move 1 space, and I'm going to take this brown idol and I put it in my pouch. I only have space for 1 idol until I unlock the one I'm going for. So once I drop this off, I can place it here and unlock this ability to be able to carry 2 different idols. Never the same one, but 2 different idols at the same time, which is a really great ability. I say the other great ability is the blue one that allows you to unlock this for having 6 action points per turn. I walked 1 space and went here. Now, how do I get all the way over here? That's totally up to me. I see 1 quick path that would say, so I walked 1, I picked it up for 1, so I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5, and theoretically on my next turn, I walk 1 more space connected here and drop it off. So that's 2 more action points, so I can't use my adrenaline to just do 1, and I'm hoping that no one will rotate or shift the board so that I am directly next to the drop-off point for this particular idol. Now, there's another one over here with the green. I'll lift this up so you can see. If you ever get to a space where you have 2, you can choose which one you'd like to pick up. But even better, I was trying to look for some ways to get around. If I went here, I could theoretically move here and then come around to the back side of the board and then move around this way. So if I hadn't been able to make a route going this way, I could have wrapped around and come around this way. And the board does wrap around again as long as one of those pathways connect. The only weird pathway that I think is kind of hard to navigate is this circle one. You'll see that there's a path underneath and there's a path over. You cannot do a 4-way cross like this one. Like this tile right here is kind of like a roundabout. You can come in on any side and you can essentially go to any of the other places. Not so with this unique one right here, the little hoop-de-whoop. So there are different connectors, and yes, these are all shiftable, rotatable, and movable. They're also going to just disappear and you're going to have gaps in the board as the game continues. So I counted mine by mouth, but you can count yours like this and keep track of your action points with the ring, move it back up, and then now it is another player's turn in turn order. And we are just simply going to keep on doing that. So let's see here. What do the other characters want to do? There's a nice walkway, 1, 2, 3. Pick up a pink for 4. And then let's have this person walk. Where's the pink drop off? Back here. They're going to walk 1 more space back and they're going to be dropping it off back there. And then red player goes and sees an opportunity to get to this blue. So they're going to go 1, 2, over the hoop, 3. They're going to pick up that blue one and that's 4. And now they're going to walk 1 more step to get to blue. So where is blue? Oh, blue's back over here. So let's have them walk back across and they're kind of standing on top. Now, I kind of put my figure flush against that kind of hoop and then I put them on the walkway if they're on the walkway because that, again, does not cross over. So they're going to want to come here but perhaps they have a chance to do a walk through and then around. Oops, or they can walk this way and around. So players just keep doing that. Now here's the cool thing. I'm going to put my figure where I said I was. I'm going to walk 1. I'm going to drop off brown. I get to choose. Do I want to add a cube? Now I'm yellow. 2 brown, activating the symbol that is above that particular image and turn this back into the supply, or do I want to pay it here and get this to remove? I think upgrades are really good early on in the game because they give you that chance to kind of super juice your turn and make you a little bit more versatile in the game, more flexible with gaining idols in this case. So I'm choosing to do this, but I have to turn one of these cards over. You'll see the symbol matches. So I put this here. I have used 2 of my actions, so I'm going to put that there to remind me because my turn is interrupted. So let's take a look at this card. Here's what it looks like. You're going to flip it over, and it's going to say something like shift or rotate or collapse. So this says rotate clockwise. Wow, in the middle of my turn, I am now rotating clockwise. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to shift it around and I'm going to pop it back in that space. And now everybody is in a very different space. So everyone who's going for something, you have idols in their backpacks, they are going to be in a totally different space. But look where I landed. The space I'm on, I can now, for my 3rd action, pick up a pink, put it in my backpack, and I can walk over here. So that was 3, 4, 5. And on my next turn, as long as things don't shift, I can nab that gold and put a different idol over here in my backpack. So that's going to be it, and that's the end of my turn. So as I said, these cards are going to say shift. You're going to look at your character and you're going to shift everything in that column the direction it says, rotating, collapsing. Everyone's looking at the board in a particular way. Let's say green player gets this card. They're going to look at it from their direction. Let's say it's mine. And it's going to take this tile out, and now there is going to be a space there. The game will continually ask you to move and to rotate and to shift. There are a couple in there that just say chill, but wow, every time you get those collapse, let's say it's this character from that side, now that guy's gone, and so forth. So these are going to keep coming out, but you'll notice here that there are special abilities with these particular idols that let you rotate, that let you shift or rotate your tile. This is rotate the entire board. This allows you to slide into spaces. And of course, your player action card here lets you do something really special for 3 of your action points. So the game is going to end when 4 of the 5 columns in this temple are filled and locked in, or if one player places all 10 of their cubes. Everybody's going to get equal turns, and then you will score up based on all the scorings. There might be some bonus points in the temple. You're going to get points for your configuration. You're going to receive points if you receive or place an idol in each of your special idol spaces on your player board, which will give you 8 points. And you're going to score at that point. There's a lot of fun here. This visual kind of spatial puzzly feature is hard for my brain. It is so tough, but it's a nice challenge because you kind of have to roll with the punches with the previous players that are going to be moving and shifting and taking away tiles, and you've got to constantly be thinking, how can I maximize my turn? How can I pick up and deliver these idols so that I can gain more powers and or gain the configuration of cubes that I need in this space? And again, you can make it this way. So if I can have one here, and then one up here or here, got it. It could be this way, or this way. No mirror image, but you can make it look like that. It's really interesting. It's very clever. You're going to be able to have different sides of the board. So underneath this, you can have different configurations of those particular idols and their delivery spots. And you also are placing these in at random. The one that matters the most is putting that 4-way roundabout in the center, and then everything else just gets placed in any way you want at the beginning of the game. So your your pathways are never going to be the same. Really, really light, lovely 30 to 60 minute game for 2 to 4 players where players feel like they are just constantly, the floor is just coming out from underneath them. A real delight. The setup for this is a little tough. Some of the pieces, I did end up kind of busting one of them because we were trying to snap this into place. So I will just say be careful with it. You can put these together, but there is some setup that you have to do by putting the things that you grab with onto the platforms. And because it is delicate, just be really careful with those pieces. But this is one of those table presence games. I mean, like, it has that feel where it's like if you're walking by and you're watching people moving the board and shifting and turning the tiles and moving things and taking stuff off, it's really, really, really fun. And you have just enough action points to do enough on your turn, but always make you feel like you want to do more. I love those kinds of games that I'm like, if I just had one more, guess what? You can do adrenaline. Don't be afraid of adrenaline. All right, folks, that is going to be it for me, Ice and Idols. Check it out. It's a real snappy game. All right, bye.